Hey, I'm Garrett Gunn. You might know me from Good Boy, Warcorns, Franklin and Gus, and you're watching The Experience.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Nerd News Now. Hey,
Welcome to Nerd News Now.
So, hi, everybody. You're here for Nerd News Now, in which it's been a long day for everybody in the room, and we're punchy.
Very. Very, very punchy.
Yep.
It's been a long weekend for me.
Yeah? What'd you do
Yeah,
this
that's the case for all of us.
Well, that's true. So nephew's first birthday, which involved going to the pumpkin patch, which if you're from the Midwest and you go to the pumpkin patch and you're single and without children, you never want to have children after you've gone to the pumpkin patch. It is the strongest birth control I have ever seen.
Oh, man.
Do not throw the pumpkins at the small children to get them to shut up.
Wait. Since when? I thought that was always the rule.
Apparently, that's against the law.
Ugh.
Does it pumpkin chunking?
No, I was just about to pick him up and start pelting him with it.
Wait,
Get him to
are you
stop
allowed
screaming.
Are you allowed to pick up the kids and throw them at the pumpkins?
I don't know. That's a thought.
They might
Let's
like that. They might like that.
reverse engineer this.
Yeah, might as well.
That's a thought. It's one that's gonna fester. I'll be honest, Brainy. That one's gonna sit there for a minute. No, and then it was family stuff all weekend. Working Saturday night while also watching the Ringo Awards and the Ohio State game, and working. And then Sunday, I just had a massive project for the experience I had to get done that took the entirety of the day. So
You didn't feel better when you were done.
no. And I'll tell you why, because my hands were like this.
Cramps?
Yeah, arthritis. Like I had to go home and put ice on them and flatten them out.
Oh.
But it's done. So now that it's done, it's done. I only have 3 other things I have to code and 9 videos I have to export. And I'm sure there's a big old list of stuff Jen has forgot. Jen is going, and this, and this, and this in her head that I'm forgetting.
The Lazy Man. I miss those shows.
Yes. So what'd you guys do?
I watched Dune
Yeah, me too.
and You. If you guys have not watched You, that is a trippy show.
Can you spell it? Is it just
Y-O-U. Just
Y-O-U?
You. Y-O-U. It's a very interesting show. I was not expecting it to be what it is.
What is it? Because I have no idea.
Wait, are we still talking about Dune or have we moved on to a different show?
We're just talking about You right now.
It's a serial killer love story.
Oh.
It's about a guy who gets very obsessed with the people he falls in love with and the things he does for them. Very interesting.
Is it supposed to make you identify with them? Like they're
No,
understand-
I hope I do not identify with him because he does go off committing crimes, which I don't want to get too into because it might spoil. But I'm on season 2. So it's currently on 3 seasons, and I'm on season 2, and it's got me intrigued, and I'm still trying to wonder why I'm watching the show.
So this is the so I'm reading it, and it's created by Greg Berlanti, which strong opening.
Yep.
But this is the opposite of the Meatloaf song.
Oh, absolutely. He will do that. Well, he'll do certain things, and it's something to watch. If you guys get a chance, watch it.
I've been plowing through the. I guess this is the second season of Lock and Key.
I have not started it yet. How is it?
It's good. I mean, it picks up kind of right where the last one left off, and
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the last one left off at a slight cliffhanger.
yeah, where they had I can't remember the bad person's name that they were dealing with. It was a girl that was like creating all kind of trouble for them. Gosh, I can't remember her name. But
Yeah, I can't remember any of their names.
But yeah, it takes a while to get back into remember their names. Like if Bodhi's the kid that stays at home all the time for some reason that I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting because the series feels a lot like a little bit like 90210 or Riverdale or whatever, where there's a lot of like kid drama at high school or like Karate Kid. That stuff's going on. But then there's also like the stuff that has to do with Key House and the mysteries behind that and people that come and go from their lives and who is genuine and who is really not who they seem at all. And you always feel like everyone's not genuine. I don't like when you get to that part of a show and you're like, you just assume everyone's bad. Can't trust a single person. It's kind of where I feel like we are.
I haven't gotten there yet, so. But
I the other thing I did when I did watch TV was I watched Urkel is on HBO Max now. It does not hold up except for the Urkel bits. Everything else feels real dated except for Urkel. Like in him coming over and being hysterical. Like the rest of it's kind of not holdy uppy.
a lot of shows from the 90s are going to be dated.
Right. No, it doesn't hold up in the way Dinosaurs doesn't hold up. Like Alf holds up better.
Oh, ouch.
Right. It's awkward. Did you think this writing through? I don't think you did. But yeah, I mean, it was for me this weekend was stand-up specials, Dune, a couple of documentaries, and then Urkel.
I put counters together. We bought new counters for the store, so I put those together.
For which site? Describe where they're going. Like their cash wrap?
So, yep, same exact spot as the old ones. We just put in two brand new ones. Instead of having a glass see-through displays, we now have slat wall displays, and gives the staff a little bit more working area as opposed to having everything being displayed. So yeah, this is what we needed. So
and less smash and grab.
Yes, less smashing it, and it also allows us to put a door, so that people won't cross behind the counter.
Oh, I hated that. when you're talking to somebody, you're like pointing at your screen, going, "Okay, what is this?" And they think it's okay to come around your counter to look at your screen. No, that is not what I said to you.
Yep. And also, they want to see the product behind them. Like, we can bring it to you. So, at least to the walk through door, at least they'll be a little bit reluctant.
I have arms also. Like,
yeah, I always tell people when they come behind the counter, I said, "I'm sorry, you can come behind the counter, but then you have to also sweep."
I like that one.
No. If I always tell them, one of the lines, and Amanda made it up. My business partner Amanda goes, "If you're gonna come behind the counter, we're gonna need your tax information, and I will be sending you a W-2."
There you go.
Like, you want to pay taxes on this time or not? I don't know that. I don't know that any of that makes any sense at all because my brain doesn't work that way. But people seem to be scared of it.
Oh yeah, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna put me to work?" No.
Right. So Dune.
Oh, we're gonna do Dune. All right.
Oh, we can do something else.
No, let's do Dune because I had made a statement to Jen last week or 2 weeks. Was it last week after I saw Venom?
Mm-hmm.
When we were talking about Dune, and I had made a statement that I want to clarify and amend.
Okay.
I had said that I wanted to do Dune to do just well enough that Kevin J. Anderson had something bad happen to him, but not so bad that the movie was bad. Because I had bad experiences with Kevin J. Anderson. This movie is so awesome that now I want them to develop other Kevin J. Anderson projects.
All is forgiven.
including but not limited to Clockwork Angels, which he co-wrote with Rush drummer Neil Peart. But yeah, no, that was amazing. I don't like Timothée Chalamet in general, but he was great.
Yeah, I love that he was like, I don't know, the character himself, I think in the past has felt more grown up.
Yes.
And this one felt like just awkward, like just adolescent, tiny skin. It reminded me of my son, whereas like you could have broken him with like a stiff wind. He was so thin.
That's true.
So then you know it's going to be extra impressive when he actually does, embrace who he is, because it's not because he's got muscles.
Yeah, no, So I walk into this movie. I put this movie on HBO. I didn't go see it in the theater. I didn't have time.
Go watch it in IMAX. It'll explode your brain.
I watched it on a plenty big screen. I put the projector up, and 4K, projector on the wall was pretty good. But I'm watching this movie picturing Timothée Chalamet as Willy Wonka because that image had just come out. And the meme, remember Timothée Chalamet's costume in Willy Wonka is the same costume that Gonzo wore in A Muppet Christmas Carol. Because it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm watching this movie going, what was that meme? What was that joke? Never mind. This guy is this now.
Mm-hmm.
I will never be able to see him as Willy Wonka. Like, he will always be, okay. From Dune. Like, it's why I can't see David Harbour as anything other than Elliot Hirsch from The Newsroom. Because it's the thing I most recognize him for.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I struggle with that sometimes with movies, is where like you have an actor who you know really well from TV or something, and now they're in a movie and you have to believe them as somebody else. I'm like, no, that is Rachel from Friends. Like, what? I don't, So no, he is now officially always the kid from Doom.
I will say that I was not 100% ready for very nearly nude Oscar Isaacs. He's a natural, I guess. But it did make him very vulnerable. For the moment that it exists, he's an extremely vulnerable spot.
Yeah, it was actually a perfect scene for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just got an email from a cool Kickstarter that's going to be on Dan Wickline's show. So I got distracted for a minute. Sorry. Should I tell you what it is?
Yes.
Might as well, you brought it up.
Bigfoot knows karate.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good Kickstarter. That's going to be a good book. It has Kung Fu Thulu.
That is amazing.
Everything about that book just screams Kyle, doesn't it? Like it's animals doing people things, except that these are cryptids and elder gods doing people things. What other news has happened, though?
They put out a new image, like a poster image for Hawkeye, which makes it even more obvious that it's a Christmas movie. And it
It's not a movie.
Shows Pizza Dog. Isn't that the only thing we care about, honestly, is Pizza Dog?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm not excited for the show, so Pizza Dog's it.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to know where they're going with the show, at least, they have done a decent job with all the other shows, so I can't, I want to see where they're going. They've kept the suspense going, so.
Well, the trailer made it look like, at least the conceit that's happening at the beginning is that because he ran around as Ronin but never made it obvious that he was Ronin, then somebody else is running around as Ronin, and now he's on the hook for it, which of course I think is her. So,
yep.
And then I hope it's just a big buddy cop film.
You know, there are several ways that I could get behind this, and that's one of them. If this turns into some very twisted version of Turner and Hooch, or Cagney and Lacey, or Jake and the Fat Man, I could really get behind this. That was all just a way to set up a Jake and the Fat Man joke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it was.
By the way, if you never watched Jake and the Fat Man, that is one of the worst cop shows ever made, but it's amazing for all the wrong reasons. But no, I get behind that I could get behind a buddy cop movie. My problem is that everything Jeremy Renner is in is, I'm Jeremy Renner. He's so serious all the time. So if it turns into a buddy cop movie, I want it to be 21 Jump Street style. Like, all right, this is him, or he is the Murtaugh to her, I can't think of the character from the movie. I'm going to blank on. Yeah, Rick. Thank you. To her Riggs. Like, he's sitting there going, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I beat Thanos. Do I really have to do this? Like, these kind of jokes the whole time. Like, I could really get behind something like that too. Like,
it's weird, Kyle, to see you say that he's always the very serious one, because I always thought that he was the one Avenger that felt like a real human, because he had a family and you got to see him be that person.
I think Avengers is maybe a little different than the other things I'm thinking about having seen him in.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen him in anything else, so I don't know.
He's a smaller role in Avengers, important, but like, he isn't Tony Stark,
right?
In all the Avengers movies, like it's every Avengers movie to me, and I've said this out loud, is an Iron Man movie with some other people, and occasionally somebody shows up and steals a scene, like Chris Hemsworth, or steals an entire movie. Like Chris Hemsworth, but it's so he always felt like less developed, and this is a great way to develop him as a character.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's you look at some of the things he's done recently. He has a new thing coming out on Paramount Plus. I can't think of the name of it right now, but super serious. It's just everything is that kind of him talking down there, and I would like to see him be funny. I know he's got the ability to be.
Mm-hmm.
What is this new show that I can't think of? Oh, Mayor of Kingstown.
Mayor of Kingstown.
Interesting.
It
sounds more like a comedy than it does a show. Like,
No, it's the McCluskey family are power brokers tackling themes of systemic racism, corruption, and inequality in Kingstown, Michigan, where the business of incarceration is the only thriving industry.
Okay.
He's like a mobster. Like, the whole family are like mobsters. And they're trying to not go to jail because jail is the only thing you do there. But, I mean, yes, he's done other things. Tag was supposed to be funny. It wasn't. But so much of his stuff is super serious, and I just don't. So.
Well, let's see how Hawkeye is. It might be a relief.
That's what I'm saying. I know he has it in him to be funny, because he's been funny in things in the past. Like, he was on Louis, and he was very funny. So I know he's got the chops. Like, let's just do it. So.
It's interesting. I can't remember exactly who it was, but I remember, like, right after Venom released, and it was so well received, and is still being the darling of the box office. That meant that they okayed some other things that Sony was holding on to and were thinking about doing. Was it Craven?
I hope not.
Something else.
Well, they're also working on Morbius.
Yeah,
it's definitely it's totally happening. So that wasn't what they were holding on to. It was something else that they were like thinking about doing, and then.
Oh, there was Solar Sable they were holding on to. They didn't get around to that either. So we'll see.
So, did you see the Ant-Man and Wasp news?
No.
Jonathan Majors was giving an interview, and he confirmed that the Kang in that movie is different than the Kang in Loki.
Interesting.
Yeah, that it's a different Kang.
Okay, so the one in Loki is Immortus, right?
Yeah.
And then all we're looking for is the Egyptian one.
There's like several different iterations he could be, but he doesn't say which one. He just goes, "It's a different Kang."
Okay.
And he didn't necessarily. He implied that it was less of an acting decision, more of a character decision.
Because we also have Son of Kang out in play.
Yeah. And they cast what's his name for the Thing? For what show was that? That was real descriptive of me.
For the Thing, yeah.
No, they cast a guy for a show or a thing. Hold on. Harry Styles is Eros, aka Star Fox.
Oh, nice.
Yes, that's a strange mix. But the Rotten Tomatoes score came out for Eternals.
Okay,
so
so
far.
somebody's
The
seen
reviewer
it.
score. The reviewer's score. Critics score. Respectable but not stellar critics score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Critics don't know jack about these kinds of movies. I'm just going to say that out loud.
73%. 6.2 out of 10.
That's not bad considering
Which
nobody
is a
knows the character.
62%. Right.
Yeah. If it was lower, I would say I'd like the movie even more, because what the things that critics hate are usually good popcorn crunchers.
Right. So it's up to 75 now with further reviews in.
Okay.
Let's see if I could find one from a reviewer that's noteworthy. Nope. None of these people are relevant to me. Yeah, no. So I would say don't trust the reviewers and therefore don't read the internet.
So I
One of the,
Go ahead, Bernie.
I was going to say one of the biggest problems Eternals has is it's got to follow a long run of Avengers, and it's got high expectations. In fact, every movie that comes out in the Marvel universe is going to have high expectations. So, expecting lower scores, it's not a bad thing to get. 73 is not bad. I think that's pretty decent for a show that has character that nobody knows about, and we really don't know the story either yet. We really don't know what it's centered around. We don't know where it's going to go. For the most part, we knew what we needed to know about all the other Avenger movies. We knew where Endgame was going. We knew what but this one we have no idea. So 73 is not bad. I'll give it that.
One of the reviews is one of Marvel's you walk out on the depressing realization that you've just seen one of the more interesting movies Marvel will ever make, and hopefully the least interesting one Chloe Zhao will ever make.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a bad review. Good reviews are a mishmash of well-meaning yet jarringly verbose and bafflingly incoherent nonsense, which is only just about saved by some half-decent performances. And that was a good review. I don't understand.
I'm going to give that review a bad review.
I'm going to look into the camera and say something right now. I don't like superhero movies.
We know this.
This is going to be amazing, and you're all wrong. Mark it here. At this time on this day, I said the thing.
I love how you're going to pre-call that a superhero movie is going to be good, that you hate superhero movies.
Well, here's what I've decided. Let's think about this.
Okay.
The Eternals exist on a different plane than every other hero we've seen in every other superhero movie that's been made. They exist on a similar plane of existence to the bad guy in Guardians 2. Right?
Sure.
They are not traditional superheroes. The Black Knight and Ajax interact with traditional superheroes and come down and play superheroes, but these characters are more on a god tier.
Yeah.
Marvel is going to have to establish the difference between where Eternals lives and where Avengers lives.
Right.
Because if you think about the Marvel pantheon, where does a story like 1872 live? It's not a superhero story. So is that part of the MCU, or is that live in some other universe of Marvel filmmaking? Where does Castle live? Where does Stephen King's The Stand live? These are all Marvel products, Marvel IP.
Right.
They have to exist in some other lane than where the Avengers and the Guardians are.
Well, you're thinking in the manners that everything Marvel has written is going to be converted to the MCU.
No, but what I'm saying is that the Marvel pantheon is so broad and contains so much that we have to start differentiating between Marvel superheroes and Marvel other.
And I think that's what they've been alluding to with all the multi-universe talk they're talking about. You know, that's exactly where they're going. They're like, hey, we can't interact everybody, but this is a good way of doing it. So that might be where they're headed with it.
Right. And if they're doing that, the thing that's going to happen is that critics who are going into a Marvel movie, many of whom have no sense of the source material, aren't going to get it. Aren't going to say, hey, this exists in column B, guys.
And you also have to wonder whether the audience that's watching the Marvel movies is also the same audience that's watching Disney Plus Marvel shows. We don't know if the critics are watching them as well. They may just be all cinematic critics and not really pay attention to what's going on in Loki, what's going on with Scarlet Witch, and all of that stuff.
We got kind of a feel for it, right, in Loki, where all of a sudden, all those things we thought were so big were just in a drawer hanging out the time during authority. So it's clear that there's things that are much bigger, more powerful than anything that we're currently aware of. So I think people that are watching those shows have got to understand what we're getting into.
Correct.
Chloe Zhao also said something very interesting, that Frances McDormand should be in the Marvel Universe.
Yes,
the queen of the indie movie and one of the greatest actors on the planet.
Cast her. What is she? Is there anything good enough for her?
I think that's the problem. Valkyrie? Maybe? It's got to be something. I would have loved to have seen her play something like the Eternal One.
Mm-hmm.
Or, one of these characters that's just so big you can't really fathom how big they are. Or play old Captain Marvel. Like an older version of not Allison Brie, Brie Larson.
Mm-hmm.
She'd have been a good Marvel. But I can't really think of one. Can you?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I came out of Nomadland and I just said, give her the award now.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, Nomadland was easily the best film of last year, by 2 miles.
At least.
Which is funny because that movie's about traveling. So, Brainy, can you think of a character that Frances McDormand should play?
One of the cosmic gods. And since the cosmic gods in the Marvel don't really have a gender, she can play any of them. She can play the universe. What's his name?
Ooh.
Eternity?
Ooh. She could play Death.
No.
No?
No. The only reason being is if they wanted to bring that character, they would have done it in Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
Death doesn't talk.
Yeah, she does not talk. You're right.
That's the point of her.
The Phoenix Force.
Oh yeah. Well, no, because they killed that with Jean Grey, and they Rock screwed that up.
All right, a list of the cosmic Marvel entities. Aegeus, Abraxas, Agamotto, Anomaly, the Anti-Phoenix Force, Adam Warlock, Beyonder, the Beyonders, the Celestials, Chaos King, Cosmic Cubes.
See, that would be interesting. What about
Coven?
I forgot what her name was, but Adam Warlock, when he split himself into two. Oh crap! I don't want to ruin the story here.
Yeah, spoilers for what could happen in a Guardians film in the future.
Right.
But what about her? And can we name 2 others to play the Coven?
Her.
Her.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good one. She could play Dormammu.
No, they did that already.
Yeah, they already showed Dormammu.
The Dreaming Celestial, Entropy, Eon, Epoch, Eternity, the 5th, the 4th, the Fulcrum, the First Firmament.
I think she could
Franklin
play,
Richards.
She could do a good job with Eternity.
Gaia.
Or how about Sue Richards?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they're going to revive Fantastic Four and hopefully a better job than before.
Yeah, I'm still on the John Krasinski, Emily Blunt for Franklin for Reed and Sue Storm.
Since you did bring up Franklin, I think FF will be a good run for them as well.
Yeah,
they can bring in the kids and they can do a lot more with that.
I can't think of anything else that would be good. I mean, Gaia is the last one I see on the list that I would go, yeah, that would be good. So, all right, what other news? Any other news?
They started talking again about The Witcher. They said there was going to be some kind of big reveal in the show. Let's see if I can read what they have to say about such things.
The Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
Are they telling us not to throw coins at things now?
Gonna make a big character reveal. So let's see if it gives us anything else. So reveal the connection between Dunny and Emir Varimris.
I don't know that much about The Witcher.
Yeah, I don't recognize those names.
Mm-mm. So one of the things I hated when I was a retailer, and Jen, you and Brainy could talk about this too, how you feel about it, is when they would send us solicitation or order forms for merch we couldn't see because it was spoilery.
Yeah.
Apparently, Ms. Marvel may be undergoing some changes for her Marvel Cinematic Universe debut. In that, turns out they maybe have changed the way the fist works. And it got revealed on a t-shirt.
Oh no.
Yeah. The new image is officially labeled Crystal Smash, which may offer a clue as to how the fist will be changed for the movie.
So I'll tell you a tale. I got a call once from Hasbro saying, you have to tell us how many cases you want right now on the phone, not knowing what we're soliciting to you at all. So not even a genre. I couldn't be told if it was Star Wars or anything. They wanted to know how many cases I was going to buy, sight unseen, with no information whatsoever. And I had to make the decision on the phone. That's next level.
Did you order 0?
I ordered 0.
Wait,
Yeah.
what item was this?
So
this was Hasbro.
yeah, so we're talking about how one of the things I hated as a retailer was when companies would send you solicitation or order forms for merch that you couldn't see because it was spoilery. And the story that goes with this is, turns out they may be changing the way Kamala Khan's fist works for the MCU. And this got leaked through a T-shirt image. They're calling it the Crystal Smash, and it may be the way that her arm, how her arm changes. That may be how it's represented in the movie, because in this T-shirt it certainly looks that way. So the conversation was about having to order merch, not knowing what it is.
Yeah, we've had to do that before. We're having to do that. Well, to a certain extent, we're having to do that with our books right now too, right, Miss Jen?
Oh yeah, there's a lot that we are ordering blind.
Yep.
Even at FOC, they don't have images. We just have to I've just learned to just roll with it. I look at who the artist is and make an educated guess based on that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is, for books at least, as long as the solicitation was complete, I could make a determination regardless of cover. But I can remember getting things from Funko. No, you can't see what this pop's going to look like. Then I'm not going to order it, dude. Like, come on.
Unless it was a character we already know, you know.
Right, it's untitled Star Wars character. Untitled Marvel character. Nah, not doing it. So, and someone's angry. Brainy, you don't need to bark at me.
I just gave her food and she's... Give me a second, I'll be right back again.
I met Josh Werner's dog today.
Yeah, that was fun.
Ozzy Posborn is the best name I've ever heard for a dog.
Josh is one of the greatest people in the biz. I firmly believe. Like, text him on a Sunday. Hey, dude, can you do this show tomorrow? Yep, no problem. Comes close to showtime, like he's running a little late. I'm worried about him. Boom, in his car, like in a parking lot. Just, I'm here. I said I'd be here. I'm here.
Yeah, I saw part of that interview. I was a little busy at work.
What tells me that he's an amazing human being is the look on his face as I tell him that everyone I talk to about who should get the Gary Reed Award said that it was obvious that he should get it. And for him to say he doesn't understand because he doesn't really do anything except for lift people up that
right.
Things, I'm like, that's literally what the award says.
Right. He was not prepared for that. He was all emotional, and I'm going, brah. Like, I'll tell you guys off the air, like, stuff that I know. And, like, I'm going, brah. Like, I like that you're that humble, like, but you deserve way more than you're getting credit for right now. Like, when you think about Garrett Gunn, you think about, the success that SourcePoint is having. Think about Christy Blanche. Think about Bob Sally. Think about Dirk. Think about all of these people who have gone to SourcePoint and their career has found another gear.
Yep.
Like, all of these people were making stuff pre-SourcePoint, but they found another gear there. That's Josh. Like, I make fun of Travis a lot. In fact, I put that, you ask Josh what did he have any haunting experiences? And I put, he works with Travis, so his dreams are haunted by that. Like, I make fun of Travis a lot, and Travis has done a lot to shepherd Source Point along and to make it into a powerhouse for people. But Josh, man, Josh is the one who I'll see TikToks from and Snapchats and like texts at 3 a.m. going, I just figured out how to do black edged gilding. Like, and he's been working on it since 7 that morning. He just loves what he does that much. Like, he deserves way more credit than he's getting. And I think the time is coming when other people come a-calling.
Yeah.
And the dude is worthy of all of it. So,
I mean, he started that company from nothing, right?
And he saw it through when it went through the first big changes was when his first partner had to be separated. Like his first partner had to leave the company, and it wasn't necessarily a separation, but it was just this is what needs to happen for his partner and for the company and all this kind of stuff. And everybody was good. And Josh is just like holding it together with duct tape and twine. You know, and then he gets Travis and he gets Jacob and he gets Nolan and he gets Elle and he gets all of these wonderful people. And there's a guy out there whose name you don't know named Dev, who doesn't work for them, but works his butt off for them, who is my homie. And I just want to give him a shout out live on the air because I'm not going to see him this weekend and I'm bummed about it. But no, Source, like there are all these people at Source Point. Josh said it. It's like family. These people are giving their time, their energy, their blood. Dirk Manning sweat. Like he actually sweat. I've never seen the man sweat. His hair got out of place and everything when they were putting that new building together.
Yeah.
Like, so there's something to be said for what he built. And there will be other people who will take note and will give him opportunities. And he deserves every one of them. So. I liked your first interview a lot with J.M. Brandt. Yeah. He was a lot of fun. I have not read I'm excited to read Swamp Dogs. He was a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'll tell you the truth. Every single week when I get to Sunday, I start internally being a little bit unsure of myself for my interviews on Monday.
Because you never know what they are until Monday?
No, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I just feel like my brain starts telling me that I don't know what I'm doing. And as soon as I sit down, I do my research, of course, which makes me a little more okay in my brain. But as soon as I sit down, I realize, wait, the person on the other side of this camera are people that I love. And so it's a safe place.
Yeah, I'm hosting panels this weekend, and I've never hosted panels. Like, I've done interviews. I've done millions of hours of interviews, but I've never hosted a panel. And I get Bill Morrison and Steve Levine.
Nice.
So The Simpsons and the Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Pretty sure I can handle that.
Favorite things ever.
Right. I mean, I'm not a huge Simpsons guy, but I know enough about The Simpsons. And I know I've read many of the Bongo comics that he helped co-create. So, like, all right, I can handle that part for Bill. And then Steve Levine, it's Ninja Turtles. I don't know that there are many people on the planet who know more about the Ninja Turtles than Kyle. So we're in.
So Ninja Turtles are a bunch of kids playing around with turtles, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's it.
They throw turtles like Japanese stars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Like number 2's bowler hat.
Bowler hat.
Who was that? Who threw the bowler hat in James Bond?
That is it called Top Job? I
don't remember. Every time I try and think about it, all I think about is Short Round from Indiana Jones, and it's a different thing.
Well, the problem is that there's another name that they gave to the Austin Powers one, which was like just thought, maybe it was Odd Job.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it was like, now I get confused between that one and the real name.
Right. So so we talked a little bit about Swamp Dogs. That's a comic that's coming out this week. What else is on the slate?
It's weird because we have Again, this week we have Image asking us to hold books that were supposed to come out this week because we only have partial shipment, so we have to wait for next week. But we do get to finally release Ant #1, which was supposed to come out last week, and now we get cover B, C, and D again, finally. And then that also means we get to release a really big book, Gunslinger Spawn, for people that actually held on to it instead of released it in King's
Yeah.
Spawn.
A lot of people would just put it out.
Yeah,
Did they?
we didn't get ours, so we were one of the reasons why it was delayed.
Yeah, no, it's Wednesday of last week. Nick's selling them on his show. I'm going, hey, bro. They ask everybody to hold those. I don't know what their deal is.
Right.
So maybe it's different for him, but like,
So there's a difference between pre-selling an item and actually handing it to somebody.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because I could do them. I could have done them during my live show and just said they're not
Right.
going to ship until next week. But I didn't want to do that to everybody else that couldn't do it. So I just waited. No big deal. And then Cross to Bear is a book from Aftershock.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what that one's about.
Cross to Bear
Mm-hmm.
is by Mario Stojanovic. Jack the Ripper was never caught because no one was looking for him in the Wild West.
Oh, cool.
No one except the Order, an organization made up of the descendants of the Crusaders, sworn to eradicate the unnatural. The Order will stop at nothing to fulfill their pledge to fulfill the pledge their forefathers made, even if it means crossing an ocean or a line or two.
That sounds like my kind of jam.
Sounds like an Aftershock book.
And then from Valiant, Harbinger #1, which we haven't had that team book in a really long time. And eventually, supposedly, I think Sony has Harbinger. It was going to do something with it. I think that was supposed to be the next thing. I know there's a green light for Bloodshot 2, so I'm assuming that they're going to move forward with their Harbinger stuff. And then Quantum and Woody was supposed to be a show by now, too, so I don't know what they're doing there. But House of Slaughter is going to be a big book this week. That's the follow-up to Something is Killing the Children.
Yeah. Hardcover wise, Better Angels, Kate Warren from Boom Studios. It's Jeff Jensen and George Shaw. That looks very interesting to me. It's a hardcover, direct to hardcover. And then from our friends at Source Point Press, Ringo nominated Buried But Not Dead. I've had that for a year now.
Me too. I supported the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it feels like I'm excited for something, and I want to talk to Josh Starnes about it at some point. Merlin and Hector from Red 5. He didn't write it, but I assume he knows because he's in charge over there.
Yep.
But that sounds interesting to me.
Which probably means I'll have him on the show on Saturday. I'll have to poke him.
Yeah, I'm sure my LCS didn't order any. So I don't know because I've asked for them to put all Red 5 books on my list. But if they didn't, I'll let you know.
Perfect.
I hope they did, though.
I read it last week, not knowing that I wasn't going to be able to put it out. And I did an interview with the creator of Nita Hawes' Nightmare blog, which I loved. So I can't wait to talk about that again.
Yeah, that was Rodney Barnes, who we talked to for other things. But yes, great. And is Hellcop now officially out too? Is that one of the Image books that got held?
Now I didn't.
Or did it get pushed?
I didn't get to see that one is being held, but now where there's 2 different covers that did not previously come out in this shipment, so the 3D version is going to be here.
I thought it was delayed from last week to this week, or is it being delayed from this week to next week?
No, it's out this week. But
Yep.
That's what we were debating. Did it get held or did it get pushed?
Yeah, I thought it was coming out last week because Brian did a signing last week.
Uh-huh.
So it is officially being released this week.
And then this one sounds fun. Pop Star Assassin.
That
Yeah.
is the book I'm most excited for this week.
You know,
Truth be told, that's everything for me. Everything I'm into.
That's all the things you care about.
It's true.
What DC stuff? Because I don't have the DC list and Marvel list.
I'm still looking through my indie list, which is stupid long this week. Oh my god.
this was a bigger week than last week.
Yeah.
Last week was very small.
Yeah,
Because maybe Winchester House, is that this week?
Winchester Mystery House is this week.
Okay.
We Don't Kill Spiders #2, which I'm very excited for. And then from Marvel and DC, you have ASM 77, Aquaman Green Arrow Deep Target, Batman Fortnite One Shot, which has the Batman Who Laughs right on the cover.
Nice.
Did you guys already
Batman-
mention
Hmm?
Nightmare Blog?
Yes. Batman Long Halloween Special.
Yep.
DC versus Vampires #1.
There's a lot of buzz about that, but I have no idea why. Maybe it's just the creators talking about it a lot.
Let's take a look. Oh, it's Tinian and Rosenberg.
Ah, the big.
That's right.
I should have talked to Rosenberg this week. Dadgummit.
I
You
did
still
not
can't. I
know.
think his book is delayed, right? It's going to be out next week.
I don't see that as a thing.
Next week is November. Oh, no, it's going to be the following week. Second week of November, I believe.
For
The 11th.
DC versus Vampires.
No. I'm talking about Rosenberg's book.
Rosenberg wrote DC versus Vampires.
Yes, but he's also got his own indie book,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're gonna have him on for the indie book, but like,
Nice.
I looked at this one and just saw the first name being Tinian and went, well, we'll move on from this list. Should have read a little deeper. That's on me. What was I gonna say? Fear State Harley Quinn #8, which has been really good. And Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters IG-88.
Also, Undying Queen.
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah.
Task Force Z #1, also from DC Comics.
hmm That one I'm intrigued by. I'm not. The solicitation didn't sell the title to me well enough, so we'll see what it's all about.
In the trade market from Viz Media, it's actually a manga. Burn the Witch #1 is something that I've been hearing about for a long time. And Junji Ito's Cat Diary hardcover. Stan Sakai won 2 more Ringo Awards on Saturday, which is the thing Stan Sakai does best that isn't writing Usagi Yojimbo. And there is Usagi Yojimbo Origins Volume 2.
Miss Jen, if you haven't already looked into it, look into Happy Hills. It's by Comics Tribe. We got early release because we got store variants of it. It was our #1 seller this week, so
Yeah.
I'd recommend that book.
Okay. Happy Hills.
I guess if there's nothing else news wise or comic book wise that we need to talk about, I do just want to mention, if you get a chance, go on YouTube, watch the Ringo Awards from this past weekend. Both Steve Rotterdam from Aftershock and Joe Quesada give really great speeches, and our friend David Pepos won for OZ, which was great. Art Balthazar also gave a very funny speech, but Joe Quesada and Steve Rotterdam, for me, were really the high points. So
Did you
If
see
you-
that Art Baltazar came on the show today and said, "Where's my video?"
JD was tagging me. It's one of the 9 that have to export tonight. we'll have that conversation another time. But trying to get through all the New York footage. By the way, I shot over 100 gigs of video.
Wow.
Yeah, like an hour is 1.4 gigs. That's how many hours of video I shot at New York.
1.4 seems a little small. What are you recording at? 720?
1080, but it's only 30 frames.
That's still small.
It's a little small, but it's good compression. So, I mean, generally it'd be closer to 2.5, but with the compression, we can get into this later, Brainy.
Yeah.
This is a Brainy and Kyle nerd out conversation that no one else needs to hear. Right, Miss Jen's like, I haven't eaten in like 8 hours.
Right.
You guys talk about your nerd crap some other time.
No, I'm actually fine today because between lunch, Drek, and doing the interview, I went over to the barbecue place and stuffed myself full of barbecue.
Nice.
So I don't faint now.
Hey.
You know what you should do, Miss Jen? Get a pizzeria in your store.
So here's the problem I run into. So they open at 11. I'm not ready to eat yet. I'm live from noon to 2. They close at 2.
Well, why not just
They
order
come out
ahead of
and open
time?
at 5. I'm live.
Order your food at 1:30.
Right. Like, just put a post-it note on the register. When you come back, I would like this, please.
Exactly, right?
Yes, that's what I should do, absolutely. It does feel funny to have food availability and still be hungry all the time.
You could just go walk into their cooler. Like, I'm sure they don't count the pepperonis.
You'll just see my face and the cheese.
Whoa. That is the only thing we count in a pizzeria. Is the amount of pepperoni we have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
nothing
think
else
they
matters.
count how many pepperonis they have?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think they just count how many pounds of pepperoni they have?
Shh. No, we count each slice because we know.
Sure. Sure, yeah. So, if there is nothing else for the good of the order, I will do this thing that Justin sent me. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Thank you for watching Nerd News Now, part of the Kingdom of Geekdom on Woodlands Online, sponsored by the Adventure Begins Comics and Games and Space Cadets Collection. Check out our other shows on Woodlands Online, like Weekly Fallout Sports Talk, the Adventure Begins Show, For Reals, The Best You, Between the Trees Business Talk, and much more. You can watch all of these on Woodlands Online and on our partner station, KVQD HD21, over the air on your TV if you're in the correct area of the world. All of these shows and much more on Roku right now. Search and add Woodlands Online TV to your streaming lineup. Now you can listen to our podcast show on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Amazon. For Jen and Brainy, I've been Kyle. This has been Nerd News Now. See you, everybody.